What is going on about Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by a very special slice of bread. His name is Toastworth, Toasty, or Toast Buns, Toasted Buns. I don't have one for you. I don't have one for you today.
Yeah, you don't have one for me. You're kind of weak today. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean usually I have some kind of toast pun ready to go, but I think I used too many of them. Either way, that's not the case. Today we're talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and today's discussion is going to be slightly different. Instead of talking about stuff that we hope to see, which everybody's making videos right now of stuff that they want to see, and I just want to point something out. And I kind of noticed this really in the past week, but everybody wants everything. And while, first of all, Toasty, let me ask you the question. Do you want everything in this next game?
No. Well, yeah, I would want it, but it's not gonna happen. Like
that's kind of what I was going to. Yeah. It's we all want everything. When it comes to not just Dragon Ball, but any game in general, especially if it's a franchise that we love, we all want everything. I would love to have a 500 character roster, which is not going to happen. I would love to get, perfect online stability. I would love to get this. I would love to get that. I would love to get everything. But the thing is, it's just not going to happen just because it's literally impossible to please every single fan. And really the whole point of today's video is to just kind of say is just don't expect too much. I mean, expect a lot, but not too much. Now, I can say a couple things. From what I've heard, from what I've been told, and I'm not going to go into detail on this stuff yet just because obviously we can't talk about it yet. But for both me and Toasty heard, there's a lot of change being added to this game that's going to satisfy a lot of fans. When I compare Xenoverse 2, from what I've been told, to Xenoverse 1, it is a superior game. That's all I can say. But I can also tell you that it's not going to have everything, and people should just not be too, expecting of everything, because that's kind of like the curse with just the gaming world, the anime world. It's like we want everything. We want, freaking, as ridiculous as this sounds, but we want Super Saiyan God for Goten. We want Gohan to go Super Saiyan 3. Like, we want all this stuff, but it's just not going to happen. So, I don't know, like, Toasty, you can just take over for a second. Like, you know exactly what we're here to say for, right?
Yeah. As someone who does speculation, or at least mainly did it for Xenoverse 1, you probably feel this too. When you make videos about things that you want to be in the game that, is a good topic and something that you could really talk about and something that people probably would want as well, and you kind of want to see that. Like fusion, for example, in Xenoverse 1, everybody wanted fusion in the game, like at the actual doing of a fusion dance, back in Budokai with all the cutscenes and all that stuff. They wanted that sort of thing. But with the way that Xenoverse ended up working, it doesn't really seem that possible because everything is in real time. So everybody kind of goes back to those videos from back in those days and kind of comments on and be like, yeah, this didn't happen in Xenoverse 1 or whatever. Or maybe if you talked about Super Saiyan 3 in Xenoverse 1 for creative characters and that just didn't happen. It's like, sometimes when you expect something from a game, you don't really know the scope of really what the game is trying to achieve or what's going to happen in the end game, because basically what it seems like for Xenoverse 1 is that they were trying to get a skeleton, they were trying to get a good amount of Dragon Ball Z and GT characters, like a decent amount, to where people will be a little bit satisfied, as well as to have a story that's completely original in at least some way, with its own plot line and some new characters. You have a somewhat of an open world hub for people instead of a menu, to change it up, as well as to allow you to go and play with your friends and show up in the hub world with them and stuff like that. It's meant to kind of be nearly a MMO, but not an actual MMO. It's mainly a fighter. Like that, that's what the scope was. And then Xenoverse 2 is building on that to make something bigger, probably another story continuing off from the end of Xenoverse 1, along with, obviously a bigger hub world as we've seen in the trailer, bigger, different looking, and it seems like you could fly now, so there's more added mechanics to the hub world. They're probably going to add some more characters, which they already shown. They added Zarbon and Dodoria, and they're adding other things, and they're adding extra stuff from the movies instead of doing only stuff from the main storyline like they did in the first game, which is obviously us getting to see the Trunks special and all that stuff. And they updated the graphics a tiny bit with the characters, at least in the cutscenes, and there's small things that they've updated that we could see from the teaser trailer, and that's just the teaser trailer.
Essentially,
we won't see any real improvement until later trailers.
Essentially, you're gonna get Xenoverse 1 plus more is basically what we're trying to say. Like look at other games. Let's look at other games. The thing about other games is people always expect the games to be different. Like, people are expecting the combat mechanics to be absolutely different in this game. It's going to be essentially the same thing. Let's be real here. the games are going to operate the same way. It's going to have a similar system where you have you can learn attacks, you can earn attacks. RNG will probably be in the game again because obviously that adds longevity. Not that I'm confirming anything because I don't really know. It's just speculation in a way. But essentially, you're going to get Xenoverse 1 plus more. Now, from what I was told, like I said, there's going to be a lot of huge improvements and it's going to make a lot of people happy. But it's not going to have everything. Xenoverse 3 is not going to have anything. If there's a Xenoverse 4, it's not going to have everything, but it's going to have the stuff from before plus more. So essentially, if you loved, by the way, I say essentially a lot, and it was in my last Dokkan video this past week where people pointed it out, and I'm like self-conscious about it. So every time I say that word, it rings in my head like, don't say it so much. No, but from what Xenoverse 2 is going to be, it's going to be the last game plus more. So if you absolutely could not stay in Xenoverse, you will not like this game. Well, I think. I mean, I don't know what it is about the game that people don't like. So actually, I guess the first question I'm gonna ask you guys is, what is that one thing that you hated about Xenoverse 1 that you absolutely could not stand to see in the next game? And let's kind of like get the basics out of the way, because I know people want to say hit detection, which, like I said before, hit detection needs to be fixed in this next game. If hit detection sucks, the game's gonna be unplayable, and that's going to probably kill the franchise. So the one thing that they need to fix the most is the hit detection. The second one is probably a couple key mechanics, no pun intended on key, but like I would love to see Super Saiyan work differently. Like I don't want that to have infinite key, because again, that has spammers. So something else I want to say is I've been reading the comments this past week, and a lot of people are saying stuff like, we don't want spammers to come back in the game. Well, it's a fighting game. Every fighting game you get is going to have some kind of spammer. You can't really change human behavior. You can really just create a system that makes it not as easy, but again, that's going to be a drastic change to the mechanics. So I really just don't really know how this is going to honestly work when it comes down to that.
Spamming is a really hard thing to tackle, because when we made our spamming video back when Xenoverse came out, like how to fight spammers, a lot of people were like they want it to be in the next game. They want the ability to spam to be there, because they know how to beat it, and they feel like very accomplished when they beat someone who's trying to spam. Right. Which I can kind of understand. I mean, if someone's trying to be scummy or whatever in a game and you're able to beat them with your just natural skill, it feels really good to do so.
It does feel good.
So I could see where they're coming from with that. Although I do not think that they should allow for you to so easily spam with something like Super Saiyan. That's what I really want. I just want mechanic changes. Like some mechanic changes. Z-Souls. There was a lot of times at the beginning of Xenoverse where Z-Souls were broken. Like just there would be a Z-Soul in the game that would just be absolutely snapped in half, and people would have so many problems with fighting it. Because like I remember there was one Z-Soul that gave you all of your health back, like all the time, and it's just
well that was a bug, but yeah. I mean, when it comes down to Z-Souls, I honestly would not remove Z-Souls. I would just change them so they don't have drastic effects like they did in the first game. Now again, Z-Souls most likely are not going to get removed in the game, and this is not me saying something because I know it. I don't know what the plans are with Z-Souls. It just seems very likely they're not going to remove that, because it's kind of a key mechanic to what Xenoverse 1 was. But what I don't want them to do is to have essentially the same Z-Souls that we saw in the last game, just because certain Z-Souls were kind of overpowered, I guess. But then again, the way I always see systems that are available in games is this: what one person has, another person has available as well. So it's like, it's kind of unfair to say, well, that Z-Soul, sucks, is broken when you have access to it too. So I don't know. I guess whatever way you create your character, whatever you equip your person, whatever moves you have, is how that person fights, and whatever it's available to you is available to another person. So that's kind of like how that works. So is it unbalanced? I mean, it's debatable, but it's also available for everybody. But yeah, Z-Souls, again, as Tosi said, it needs a mechanical change. I don't know how they're going to do it, and whatever they do is going to get broken again, just because when you're part of a development team and you're making a game, you're not really thinking, oh, how can people abuse this? You're building it to the way it's like, oh, this would be a really cool mechanic if you combine with this and this and that. But when there's millions of us playing it, there's about to be that one person that finds a crazy build and then, exposes it online, and then everyone's using it. And then, in that situation, you gotta add the patches and stuff. But hey, at least we're getting patches, unlike other games that I'm hearing stories from, like Stone 4, for example, who doesn't get that many fixes. At least Dimps will be willing to fix issues that are at hand, as long as they reproduce the bugs. But either way, ultimately, when it comes down to Xenoverse 2, we all want the best for it. I mean, we're all fans of the series, but when it comes down to it, it's just not going to fix everything. It's not going to make every fan happy, and it's something to think about. Because like I said, I've been seeing a lot of videos this past week of stuff that people want. Look, let's be real here. There's probably going to be a pre-order bonus that's going to be locked forever, like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Is it a good thing? No, not really. But again, that's Bandai's call, so there's really nothing we can do about that. I mean, maybe we can protest and get released as DLC later to those who didn't get it, because obviously when Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta was released in Xenoverse 1, the big issue was the fact that a lot of people pre-ordered, but there were too many pre-orders and not enough codes for Vegeta, so a lot of people kind of got screwed with that. As far as DLC, let's be real here. It's a game. It's 2016. There's going to be DLC. Are we happy? Probably not, but a lot of us are still going to buy it regardless. So there's going to be DLC. What is DLC going to be? I have no idea, but I guess we'll find out whenever they release it, sometime in the future, and let us know what the deal is. But like stuff like that is inevitable. Like those things.
I could see it being super characters and people being.
It's got to be super characters.
Really mad.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up because since Xenoverse 2 technically should be like near its end cycle of development, and Super just ended, it only makes sense that they don't even have Super added into it. They might have some kind of core story based on what was available at the time when they were developing it, and what Toei and Bird Studios told Bandai Namco and DIMS, because I don't know like how much they communicate, but ultimately it comes down to it, Super just ended, or the Super Shampoo arc just ended. So I feel like if they're going to add, Super characters, Universe 6 stuff, it's probably going to be DLC, and it's going to make a lot of people unhappy, but at the same time, hey, I'd rather get it than not at all, so it's going to toss that out there. But either way, just wait to see stuff until stuff is revealed. E3 is coming right up, and once E3 comes out, we'll get a little bit more details. Not everything, but at least we'll get some core functionality and changes that we can talk about then. And of course, when we do, both Toasty and myself, we'll let you guys know on the news. So make sure you subscribe to both of us and stay tuned with the information so you can get it when it comes out and be in the loop of stuff. But that's pretty much everything. Toasty, is there anything else you want to say?
No, it's just that this game is going to be a build on Xenoverse. If a lot of people were saying it looks like Xenoverse 1.5, I mean, if you want to say that based on a teaser trailer, that's whatever. I mean, that's what it looks like because that's all we've seen. We've only seen small things of the game. We've only seen 2 cutscenes, as well as small gameplay tweaks, like Goku having his full Super Spirit Bomb, which we didn't get in Xenoverse 1, which is something I'm actually happy about them adding. I just want them to add small things. That's really it. The small things are really what Xenoverse was missing. Just small tidbits and ultimates and stuff that was in the series and people loved, but it wasn't in Xenoverse. Well,
just to point out, I mean, technically the other previous games never had drastic changes too. I mean, Raging Blast 1 and 2 is essentially the same game. It's literally the same game, just a slight difference with the characters and
Raging Blast 2 had less than Raging Blast 1.
That's also funny.
Raging Blast 1 had a full-on story mode with what-if stories and everything, a fully functioning online, and all the characters that Raging Blast 2 has, except for the ones that people don't care about, like fucking Salza and Dor and Naizu, whatever his name is. People they added completely irrelevant characters to that game. They put a shader on it, so people thought the graphics were completely upgraded and different, when really it was just a shader. The game's graphics are the exact same as Raging Blast 1 with a shader.
And look at Budokai. I mean, Budokai 1 and 2 had a massive difference just because they fixed the mechanics and make it a lot better, and they made the game look a lot smoother. But
and they
essentially
completely changed the story mode. The story mode, while people don't like Budokai 2's story mode, they completely changed it up. Completely. The entire dynamic of the story was completely changed, and they went from it being an episode which honestly I did like. So can you bring that back in Xenoverse 2? That would be amazing. But I mean,
essentially it was the same game though. Budokai 1, 2, and 3 were the core functionality. If you play Budokai 1, you can play 2.
They just kept adding on to the mechanics and the characters and the story, and they just added features, and that's really what Xenoverse is aiming to do. That's what every sequel aims to do. Just add features.
Jaden Tastic made a good point. He was just basically look, the worst case possible, it'll be just like Xenoverse 1. If you like that, you'll be happy. Obviously, not with everything when I say like Xenoverse 1. Like I said, as long as they fix hit detection, to me, that's the most important thing. If hit detection sucks in this game, I don't see a future for the series. But if it's right this time, I'm going to be very excited. That's the one thing I want the most. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we pretty much got our point across, I hope. I don't know. If there's any confusion in the video, just feel free to let us know your questions in the comment section below. But the thing I want to ask you guys that you can drop below as well is, what is that one thing that you just absolutely could not stand about Xenoverse 1 that you hope does not come out in the next game? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll take them from there. So that's really everything. Anything else, Toast?
Nope, that's it. Just
all right.
Don't put your expectations to the sky, I guess. Just don't expect everything.
You know what's funny? This is funny. I call you Toast, right? Because you're Toasty, and my intro is always super sandwiches. That's funny. I just realized that. It's a super sandwich. It's the super toasty sandwich. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm gonna end the video right here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the Xenoverse 2 discussion. And again, as soon as there's more information about the game, we will let you guys know. And just don't overthink it. Just wait for more information to be revealed first. It's not going to have everything. It's not going to please every single fan. But for what they're going for, it's going to be a fun game. And, if you love Xenoverse 1, you will love this next one. And that's all we're going to say.
Also, don't forget to bring Baby back. That's all I'm going to say.
Bring Baby back. Baby has to be in this next game. He has to be.
They personally excluded him. Someone hates Baby over there. I swear, man.
Originally, they weren't even going to have GT characters in the first place in Xenoverse 1.
But then they just had the most shady ones in there.
Yeah.
They had I know a lot of you love Nova Shenron. You know Nova Shenron. But fuck Ice Shenron. I don't care. What you
I
say.
can't stand. Yeah,
I don't
Ice
know
and
why-
Noah just.
I don't care why Ice is in there. Like, bring Baby in. He has like multiple forms, and he's an amazing character. He's the best villain in GT. Bring him in. Why would you do this? to me?
With that said, I guess we said enough. So we'll see you guys in the comment section below.
Peace.